Hello, and welcome to the weekly meeting, the weekly broadcast of Strategic Speaking for Results. I'm Elizabeth Bachman, your host, and today I want to talk to the fellow introverts, those people who, like me, sometimes have a hard time remembering speaking up or get flustered when there's a lot of activity and a lot of people who are giving lots of ideas. Personally, if I'm in my zone, if it's something I've been thinking about a lot, I have lots of ideas. I can think of many things. But other people especially people in my life, come in with something that they've been thinking about for a while, and then they spring it on me, and I can't respond instantly. People with ideas, or they get all excited and they follow some really cool thing that I have to think about it. I am much better off if I process information. And it's certainly when I work with my team, I know that often the third or fourth version of an idea is the one that's going to work best. I need time to process. What happens in meetings, however, is that you get is that the people with all the exciting ideas, the extroverts, tend to get all the attention. It's a normal human thing. It's nobody's fault. It's just there are introverts and extroverts, and some of us are situational extroverts where we are fine in a group, but when we need to recharge by being quiet. The trick is it's a normal human tendency to recognize the introverts, to remember them, to pay attention to them, and then they're the ones that get the attention. Often they're the ones that will get the promotions, especially if they're really good bullshitters. They're good at saying lots of things and flattering people. They often get the recognition that the introverts deserve but don't get. So here are some strategies for introverts. The first one is prepare. If you're someone like me who needs to lay out her thoughts in advance, who needs to think through the process and make sure that you know what's going on, prepare. Now, of course, nowadays, everybody's in so many companies, we're in meetings all day, every day. So choose the important ones. Choose the meetings where there are people, influential people, that you want to impress, the people who can help your career. You want them to notice you. You want them to notice you you want to be visible and valuable for them. Choose those meetings and prepare. You should have an agenda. There should always be an agenda sent in advance. If there isn't one sent in advance, ask for one. Ask for an idea. Even though you might not use all your talking points, at least you're ready. Second thing is practice. Practice saying things out loud. Because if you just prepare in your head and then the first time you say it, you say, well, I was gonna, it happens to everybody. Certainly happens to me. Practice saying your points, especially if it's a point in the agenda that hasn't been noticed. Especially the thing about extroverts is they can have lots of ideas right away, but they might not notice crucial information, such as maybe our competitors are already marketing this new thing, or has anybody asked the client if they really want this? That happens a lot. Make sure that you are looking at what are the things that you might notice because you've taken the time to think about it. Now, the negative side to this is many introverts and many of the very smart people that I work with want to think about everything until it's perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. An idea that's a partially formulated idea is still okay. Introduce it into the conversation. The next point is don't wait to be asked, especially for women. We're trained to don't speak unless you're spoken to, don't push ahead. Make a point of speaking up early, saying something, even if it's that's a good point. Thank you very much. Or I like that idea. Speak up early so that you have the muscle memory of speaking. It's a psychological trick that will remind you to speak. Don't just wait until somebody calls on you because it might not happen. Another thing you can do is pay attention to the agenda. And if people start going off on a tangent because there's some exciting new idea, say, hey, I thought we were going to talk about such and so. I'd like to know that answer so that you can bring the group back to the points. That's an important thing. As a manager, as the leader of the meeting, this is what you should be doing. As a participant in the meeting, sometimes you have meeting leaders who can't do that. So that's something that you can do as a participant. As the leader of the meeting, make sure that your introverts are being included. And if there's somebody who's talking over the introvert, then just say, wait a minute, I want to make sure we've heard from Monica. It's your job to make sure that everybody has something to say. Another thing, as the participant in a meeting, you can ask for help. If you're in a meeting where there are loud people who regularly speak over you, most of the time, the people who are speaking over the quiet people, the loud people, are wonderful. They're not doing it on purpose. It's just the way they talk. It's the way they've learned to navigate the world, and they get recognition for that. As the introvert, you have to remind them to listen. It can be done. People can be trained. There's a great more about this. This is a lot of what I do with my clients. If you're curious, please send me a message and we can talk some more about it. This has been Elizabeth Bachman, Strategic Speaking for Results.